I think it's really important that we have a record of what has happened, what is happening, and look forward to what we're going to do about it.
When the history of Canada's response to COVID-19 is written, will there be a reflection on the hate and racism experienced by Chinese and Asian Canadians during the pandemic? The Chinese-Canadian National Council for Social Justice isn't leaving it to chance, launching a new campaign called Face Race, which aims at raising awareness and educating the general public.
We were hoping to raise public awareness, educate the public about the historical and, of course, current context of anti-Asian racism, specifically anti-Chinese racism, as well as to talk about community resilience and how communities have been working together to combat decades of systemic racism.
Amy Go says her group and others have been tracking acts of hate against Chinese and Asian Canadians since the pandemic's start. In 1 year, they've recorded over 700 incidents in Vancouver and Toronto alone, or nearly 2 a day since the pandemic began. Go says this can't be removed from Canada's long history of discrimination against East Asians, which includes the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway, Chinese head tax, Chinese Exclusion Act, and internment of Japanese Canadians during the Second World War.
It is important to understand that there's this long entrenched history and systemic nature of racism so that we can look at ways to effectively combat that.
The Face Race campaign is on the CCNC website and includes first-hand accounts of racism, tools for allies, and a guide for what Asian Canadians can do if they're the target of a racist attack. The project has received Heritage Canada grant money. Brad Lee, one of Face Race's creators, says it's welcome, but Canada's anti-racism strategy still doesn't mention anti-Asian racism as a problem.
You think, okay, well, big deal, it was just an oversight. But what happens is that based on these federal papers that are put out, they create policy.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.